Hello everyone! Here's the finished painting side by side with the reference photo that inspired it. In this video, I'll show you how I go from a photograph I took during my travels to a completed acrylic painting on canvas. I always start by going through my photo archive. These are all pictures I've taken myself, and that is important to me because the painting begins with my own eye and my own experience of the place. I scroll through a few different images before something catches me today. And this is the one I choose, a quiet view from Tuscany. This is very simple but very whole and complete view. And the most important part of this part of the work is to clearly put into words what exactly drew me to it, why at some point in the past my hand reached into my bag for the phone to take a photo. Before I go on with the paint and canvas, I like to work out the composition in my sketchbook. And this is the right time to really think it through. So in this landscape, the main thing for me is the ornament created by the trunks and crowns of the trees. I've always been fascinated by these shapes. I really want to keep looking at them and studying them and sketching them. And beyond that, I remember how warm and sunny the day was when I took this photo. And I would love to carry that feeling into the final painting too. Now I move on to the canvas. I squeeze out some brown acrylic paint and dilute it with water. I like to start with the toned surface. It makes my work easier and give this feeling of the warm day that I'm looking for. This underpainting already begins to set the mood. With some brown, but thicker, I block in the main shapes. This step is very quick, and everything is already decided. And most importantly, at this stage, I can paint very loosely and freely without really worrying about details or precision. All of that clarity will come later, but this openness of the first layer, sometimes it just stays visible until the very end of the painting. And then I start to work with colors. First, the trunks and the darker shadowed areas of the crowns, then the sunlight green. I really love all kinds of Mediterranean pines. These tall ones with the big clusters of needles on the top. You can see so many of them in Italy. But also I do really love the smaller twisted ones that I've often found on the coasts of south of France and Spain, and I don't know why, but I really can never get enough of them. Their shapes are always just so interesting. They somehow inspire me endlessly. Next, I paint the houses and the background. I keep the shapes really simple and add almost no details because the trees dominates the scene in my mind. That's what caught my attention at the very beginning. Still, this row of houses is an important part of the composition. The warm red ochre together with the deep contrasting shadows really works toward this sense of warmth and sunlight that I want in this piece. But I keep the forms really very simple with no detail, because the houses are only there to hold the feeling of the sun. They are not the main characters. Finally, I turn to the sky. This step is really important too. This light blue color emphasizes the trunk pattern and also makes the feeling of the sunny day come to life. With this light blue paint, I carve out and refine the shapes of the trunks, especially right beneath the crown. Without that light, they wouldn't stand out so brightly. I also add some detailing at this final stage, and it brings the whole painting together. Now, when it's all finished, it's time for the final touch, my signature. And here you can see the finished painting again. And of course my fluffy assistant. My cat just has to inspect the paints before I can clean up. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. See you next time.